I've heard you struck my son.
Having fun?
Speaking.
I heard you know how to generate cinematic AI commercial.
I do.
May I ask how?
First you have to steal John Wick's car, but don't forget his dog.
Oh.
Let me show you how I did this commercial.
This whole commercial was made with AI, but that's not the interesting part anymore. Interesting part is that this time the AI actually remembered the film I was making. I didn't start over with every single prompt. I just kept directing. Let me show you how this got made.
Aurelio speaking.
I heard you struck my son.
Yes,
May I ask why?
because he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog.
Oh.
That's a nice suit.
I don't understand. I just stole the fucking car.
It's not what you did, son, that angers me so much. It's who you did it to.
Who? That nobody?
That nobody is John Wick. They call him Baba Yaga.
I once saw what he could do with a pencil. With a fucking pencil! And now he's after you to make his point. Because the sharpest arguments don't need bullets.
For this one I was using NVIDIA Agent 1. The difference is you are not firing prompts all the time, you are rather building a project. It holds your characters, your locations, the decisions you already made, or the direction that you already gave it. With this agentic approach, you can really start to think like a director. And that's really convenient because you are offloading production power to the agent. First thing, reference sheets for characters and for locations. I needed one for John, for Vigo, for his son, then I needed location for a balcony, for a room, and then a garage. Building them is not complicated. You just ask the agent to make them. I already had a few character faces sitting in my folder for months, doing nothing. So I uploaded those to Agent 1 and I asked it to create a proper reference sheet. But if you don't have at least some image to begin with, you can simply chat your way through that process. Describe the character, keep refining it until you are really happy with it. Expression, clothes, proportions. The more specific you are, the faster you actually land it. This is not a place where you can half-ass one-line prompt, because everything you generate afterwards actually sits on top of this. And for my convenience, I also asked it to name the reference by the name called Vigo, not reference image 1, because then when you would be chatting with agent, you can simply ask it in a natural language, make Vigo do that, or I didn't like how Vigo did X, make him do Y. It's that easy. And that's the shift. It started to feel like if you were talking to a crew. To generation itself, I wasn't trying to create whole commercial in one go. It would never work. I went scene by scene. I was asking for another take for different angles, different expressions, faster cuts. And this way I was repeatedly generating 15 seconds multi-shot clips. And you might ask whether this wasn't too expensive on credits. There is surprisingly clean answer to this: no. Because yes, one 15-second generation costs you more, but if you are crafty, you can squeeze 4 to 5 good scenes into one video, which you will then cut. But if you would be prompting for these scenes with shorter generations, but you need 4 or 5 of those, it would cost you more. Now, back to the generations itself, the goal was to have enough coverage to edit it the way I want it later. So I overshoot, like on every set I have ever been on. But all that might still bite you. Pay attention, because this part is most of the time kept out of the script for the video, because it doesn't sound good. The shots looks consistent. That doesn't mean they are continuous. In one shot, Viggo holds his mobile phone in left hand. In the next shot, it's in his right hand. And it looks good in the generation feed because you are only exploring the one multi-shot generation it gave you. But you probably won't keep track of those details, like in which hand he holds the phone. And when you start to cut it, then you will realize, wait, that's not right. And also, voices. Same character doesn't guarantee he will have the same voice in every single generation. So you should think of it upfront. An agent can take care of it. You just need to tell it it matters. It's not going to guess what you care about. Nobody does. Now, once I had enough material, I stopped generating and went to edit. That's where the commercial actually became commercial. You pick best performances, you cut it in the order you already have in your head, and you build the pacing you actually want, because in the end, you are the one creating it. And then the layers AI still doesn't hand you. Sound design, color, to name few. Just take a look. Here is the raw generation.
May I ask why? Oh.
And here is the cut with intention.
May I ask why?
Because he stole John Wick's car and killed John.
Oh.
Yes, the sequence can look quite good on its own, but the edit is what makes it feel like a film. Now, first edit is done, and then you realize you are still missing some shots. Shocking, I know. Normally, that means digging through old prompts, how you actually prompted for that shot in that scene with those characters. Here, I just went back to conversation and simply wrote that scene where Viggo hits his son. I need it to be faster. Or give me one more shot to bridge those two. It happens in the room, and the room is just enough because agent knows I named my location that way. You just keep directing and you don't need to build the infrastructure back again. So what is the takeaway here? AI didn't make direction obsolete. It actually made it matter even more. Once the production friction actually disappears, it's actually your decision that's the only thing left to judge you on, which is either great news or very bad one, depending on your decisions, which is not exactly the part of this video, but I go deeper on that part in my school community, so if you are interested, go there and check out more. But with this example, you can really see that the idea, the performances, the pacing, the edit, the technology gets you the footage, but you still have to turn it into a film. Agenting workflows are one of the best ways to actually get yourself into this type of production. It removes most of the friction you might experience when making something like that. But you still have to come up with idea, you still need to fix those shots that turned out bad with the generations, because there will be such shots, and it was the case here just as well. I needed to fix it with After Effects, with tracking, this or that. You still need to cut it, you still need to add your take on sound, because just generated audio is not enough. And most importantly, you need to sit with it. It doesn't happen on its own with one prompt. It really takes time. I'm not saying it's the only way to make such AI video, and it's not the only tool I'm using. But if you want to spend more time creating and less time actually managing prompts, it's worth a shot. So I made my point, and now
I will take that. It doesn't belong to the wrong hands.